Hello world of YouTube and welcome to another Carversation. Today we're going to be talking about
Nicki Minaj
and her recent announcement to retire from music. And retirement music in general and Nicki Minaj's legacy, all that sort of stuff in this video. Now as far as myself and my opinion on Nicki Minaj, I don't think she's the best rapper to do it. Even in the modern landscape of hip-hop. This decade, while she's been probably the most popular female rapper, other artists like No Name and Cupcake, I think, are better rappers than her in general. I think there's a lot of other female rappers doing it now that do it better than Nicki. Not to say Nicki's the worst. She has some good features, some good songs, and she's done her best to, cement herself with a good legacy. I just think her records are really inconsistent, and I think the focus of her doing a more pop-centric sound haven't benefited her the best, in my opinion. And given her kind of shaky public persona last year, it makes sense that she quit music now, or at least go on break. But to actually retire, to focus on being a family woman, to being a mother, and to having a family, I can at least admire that. I can respect that. I can respect the need to do that, or the desire to do that. I think it's hard for performers to balance family and a professional life sometimes. Some artists do it masterfully, but I mean it's hard, and I think if you want to do it right and you don't think you can do both well, I think it's respectable to want to bow out to focus on your family. With that being said, I think that we're probably not done with Nicki Minaj. I think Nicki is going to come back in like 6-7 years. I think she's going to pull a Jay, because Jay-Z is another artist in the genre who famously retired in the middle of his career. He had put out a string of very successful records, and then he bowed out. And in grace, mind you, I think his retirement came at a really interesting time. He had cemented a good legacy, but he dropped my favorite record of his, but arguably one of his best records of his whole career before he retired, which was Smart. I think that while it's good for Nicki for her to do this, I think it'll be beneficial for her. I think that she didn't, even though she forged herself as one of the stronger, more prominent voices as a female in hip-hop, I don't think she adjusted well as the decade continued. I think that as more rappers in her lane started to crop up, she didn't do a good enough job at distinguishing herself as a necessity in the genre. When Jay bowed out, even though it was after his feud with Nas and all that sort of stuff, he still cemented himself as an icon. And not to say Nicki hasn't. Again, especially earlier in her career, she did a great job at making herself known with some of her features, like with Ludacris and with Kanye West, and even the stuff with Wayne and all that sort of stuff. She cemented herself as a strong voice in the genre. But, I think her last couple of releases have been more mixed than your average Nicki Minaj record. I'd even go so far as to say that because she had this inconsistent genesis, that it led her to being this kind of split personality as her career went on. Sure, there was a more focus on pop, but her fan base never truly cemented a full-blown admiration of that side, or at least half of her fan base didn't. And that's where rappers like Snow the Product came in to kind of fill in that void that she left. And as the decade went on, she kind of left more voids in her wake because of her frequent collaborations that were underwhelming, and her records continuing to be this just misguided set of songs. I think that her feuds put her in a very bitter spotlight in the public eye, and again, while I think that the family thing is a big reason why she wants to retire, I don't think that's the only reason. I think if she would have had a better year last year, she might still be making music. Because, I mean, granted, her last record still did have some good hits. I fucking love Chun-Li. I think that song slaps. And I think that it's smart for her to make a song like Chun-Li, because she was the Chun-Li in rap of this decade, for real. Like, while she's not the first female rapper in this decade, she was the first to make a big name for herself before Cardi, before, again, indie heads like No Name came out or Cupcake came out. She did a good job at standing firm, standing strong, and delivering some good features and some decent tracks on her first couple of records. And like I said in the Chance review, I think she had some great features on Chance's records. I think this will be good for her, and I think that it's smart. And like I said, I don't think we're done with Nicki Minaj, but I do think that it is definitely a good move on her to do so. And I hope that if she decides to come back, like sometime in the middle of next decade, she'll drop a non-Kingdom Come. She'll actually come with a tight project, because I kind of agree with the rap critic in that Nicki Minaj showed a lot of promise early on. Her Biggie remix was also really good, but she failed to fully capitalize on that potential instead of focusing on success and making tracks that kind of squander her potential. But that's my thoughts. That's my thoughts on Nicki Minaj and her legacy, and my opinions on her retiring. What do you think? Do you like Nicki Minaj? Are you a fan of Nicki? Do you like her records more than I do? Do you like her features? Do you think she's a good feature artist? Let me know. Let me know. If there's a subject you would like for me to discuss on the Carversations, let me know that as well. I'm going to get out of here. Kind of a shorter one today, but I wanted to talk about this news topic because it was relevant, it was topical, and all that sort of stuff. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your support on here and on Patreon. If you like the music, gaming, and general nerdery content that I bring, be sure to subscribe for more of that. But I'm going to get out of here. I have been Viral Rack. You guys have good days, lives, and situations, and I'll see you another day.